Hello to everyone. I'm very excited and thrilled that Mr. Danny Winn is with us. Danny, you are very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to be here.
I must admit it was very hard to arrange this meeting with Mr. Danny. I had to wait several months, but that is, of course, worth of it and natural because Mr. Danny runs several projects in the crypto space, and he's actually chief executive officer of a new platform, breaking through platform, Foxify. And I cannot wait that Mr. Danny tell us more insights from the crypto world.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic to be here.
I will be very short. I know that your time is precious, that you have meetings every half an hour, as you told me, and it was really difficult to arrange a meeting with you. I cannot, if I'm honest, I cannot introduce you properly as you deserve. I know that you have a lot of experiences in technical businesses, that you have worked on top positions in several international companies, but I think the best it will be that you represent yourself. So, Danny, please.
Yeah, absolutely. And Danny Winn, my background, I've been in Web3 for what, 15, 16 months now. So that's actually a long time in DeFi, but relatively short time in the real world. My background before, as Martin said, I've worked for several $1 billion+ companies, actually, a couple of them Fortune 500s. I work for DHL in their supply chain division, e-commerce and supply chain solutions, and I also work for Schneider Electric, 26 billion turnover ESS business. I ran their electric vehicle charging business across a few markets, and then I worked in the startup space. So I took a SaaS business from a few people to sort of 100 million+ valuation and investment from a blue chip company, and I was just a very frustrated investor actually within DeFi. I'd like many people, I'm sure here, who have a little bit of time and a little bit of money to invest, and they're looking for some upside. And I thought, I think I can do something that's reliable, sustainable, and it will last for a long time. And so I quit my job, and I set up a project called MDB, which stands for Make DeFi Better, because that's the mission, to improve the industry and the standards within it. And we launched 1 week before the Terra Luna crisis, and obviously it was a very difficult scenario. But we built a fantastic community, very loyal and very supportive community. Not only because it was difficult times, but we also performed very, very well. It was a great test for the theory that was Make DeFi Better, and it stood up to the test very well. We delivered an 8x during the bear market, still going strong today, sort of hitting around 6x, and it's a reward system that uses something that we call capital synergy. It uses its funds to earn and then buy back and burn its own supply systematically, which increases the backing value of the token over time. And you can also farm in your stake. So that protocol is still going extremely strong, has a fantastic future, and has made it through the bear market and actually thrived rather than just only survive. And yeah, looking forward to 2023. So my second sort of business or project to launch within the industry is Foxify, and that's what I'm keen to talk to you guys about today.
So Danny, you're in DeFi or Web3 for 15 months, but how long are you?
Yeah, 15 months.
How long are you in crypto in general?
So for me, I suppose a bit of a low-key investor. First of all, I bought Bitcoin not particularly early. I think I bought Bitcoin in 2019, end of 2019, and then started to, like a lot of the world, right? During lockdown, there was, many people had a bit more cash because we couldn't spend any money, and we had a bit more time because we couldn't go anywhere, and many people, started to explore crypto even more, and that really was when I started to become passionate and also go on a very steep learning curve. It's a very difficult space to understand and to invest in. and yeah, so it was really 2020 was really sort of like also 2021 was really a very big year, but 2020 was kind of the start for me.
So you're now all in crypto, passionate about the technology, about the opportunities.
Yeah, I think beyond crypto is Web3 and smart contract technology. Having worked, you know, I find this fascinating. People my age in traditional business, most of Web3 wasn't even invented when they left university, and so there's a huge learning curve for many traditional industries to go on. There's so much opportunity off the back of the technology that sits behind crypto. And I always say I'm passionate about technologies that have the power to change the world as we know it. I like to disrupt, and I like seeing technologies that can change the status quo. And I don't think there's any more exciting than crypto.
And how do you think the Web3 will change our world? What will change?
I think it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think it's all, the change that we're looking for is all very surface level at the moment. And in truth, the real change will come, I think, in a much more subtle way. I think it will probably come with some regulation, I think, which will provide some credibility. And when there's regulation, I think there will be more adoption more of the technology, rather than, these sort of these creative get rich quick schemes and things like that. I don't think do a huge amount for the long-term prospects of the industry. But if you look at how the technology can be deployed, it won't be something, you won't go to the doctors and know that smart contracts are running the record system in the background. Quite frankly, a patient doesn't care. But the level of improvement and efficiency that the smart contracts can deliver across nearly every application that we're used to dealing with today, from databases to public records, to tracking and logistics and supply chain. There's just so many opportunities that are there. However, I don't think everyday people will really feel that change. I think it'll be more of an industrial shift that we'll see in the background.
You just returned from a big blockchain meeting in Istanbul or Constantinople. What are the news from this international meeting?
Yeah, so sorry, the question, what are the
news from this meeting? What is new? What is trending? What can we expect in 2023 in crypto space?
Yeah, obviously, decentralized trading is clearly the most exciting future thing within the space right now. I think it's extremely disruptive, but I think Turkey generally is a very interesting place. It's a country that has suffered with very high inflation. You think we've had high inflation? Yeah, exactly. You think you've had high inflation in the West? You should see the inflation they've had in countries like Turkey, and so therefore, through a lack of confidence in a currency becomes, a search for another currency that you can have some confidence in that isn't linked to another country, and so the environment is very bullish. There's a lot of optimism, certainly within that specific market, and also Turkey is a fantastic gateway between Asia, the Middle East, and within the country itself. So it's a really vibrant ecosystem, and I think it's certainly a market to watch out for.
I was in Istanbul 2 years ago during summer, and one night I went to reception and I saw a receptionist something working on a telephone. I asked him, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Crypto." I said, I was assuming it was crypto, and we immediately started to change our ideas, and I gave him some coins that went out very well, so I'm very glad that I shared information with him. And he told me that he said, like, all young people in Turkey are in crypto because it's the best way to create some value.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe that guy owns a hotel now, and it's down to you.
We agreed when he will have a hotel, I will be his first guest. That's how he said. But also a guy with Indian restaurant said the same. So I have plenty of connections in Istanbul. Yes. So Dani, I think it's time that you introduce us in depth of your new projects, Foxify platform. It's a kind of mix of different technologies.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Did you want me to share my screen now or give an
Yeah, please
introduction?
share your screen and time is yours.
Yeah, fantastic. So I'm just going to share my screen. Bear with me 1 second, and I'll bring up the front page.
Yes, I can see it. Yes.
Fantastic. So look, we've got, you know, I could take you through 30 slides, but
Can you go to full presentation mode?
Can you? It's not.
Yes, this it's much.
There you go.
Oh, very nice animation.
Yeah, look, and I could take you through 30 slides, but we've got 6 slides here, including an introduction, to take you through what Foxify is and why it's an exciting opportunity. Whether you're a trader, whether you're passionate around a future of decentralized trading, or whether you're just interested in purchasing the token and staking, or liquidity providers as well. There's a number of different ways that you can interact and take part in the movement that is Foxify. Okay, just to give you the introduction so you understand where does the idea come from, and if people don't understand the difference between a decentralized trading platform, which is different to an exchange, right? It's different to like a pancake swap or Uniswap. It's where people trade on there and it's decentralized. The difference between that and a centralized platform is the number one difference is with a centralized platform, when you put funds onto a platform, legally speaking, it's no longer your funds, right? Legally speaking, there will be a contract between you and the organization, but ultimately you do carry a risk that the exchange or the platform that you're using or the broker could become insolvent, and then that becomes your risk. So you could spend 20-30 years of your life learning to be the best trader that's ever walked the earth, and then the exchange goes bust whilst you're asleep and you wake up and you're zero. Okay, and that is the existential risk. And so where decentralized trading platforms are different, if you think about derivatives trading or perpetuals trading, typically what they'll do is they'll source liquidity rather than liquidity being on the exchange, which is centrally owned. They'll source liquidity from the market so that there is liquidity to be used for leverage and to trade against, because there has to be somewhere where you can win from and somewhere you lose to, right? If you're either a very good or not so good trader. But then it enables traders to trade without that existential risk of the platform going bust. Now, when you survey traders, actually, there's 3 things on average, right? Different traders of different sizes have different priorities, but on average, there are 3 things. So number 1 is a risk of insolvency. That is the number 1 concern of all traders, all sizes globally. Now, decentralized trading platforms have existed for a while. There's been a real boom, sort of started around the back end of 2021, and there was a real boom through 2022, especially with failures like FTX, Celsius, and Terra Luna. The real lack of confidence in centralized organizations during the bear market has driven that shift. However, the number 2.
Can I ask you a question? Now we can hear about liquidity problems with Binance US. Do you have any information about it?
That's a can of worms, I think, right? I think you've got, yeah, I don't want to say too much probably on camera, but I think, there's certainly a geopolitical question there, I think, with Binance and US authorities. And I think probably the complications there probably go far, far deeper than, regulation around central exchanges, in my humble opinion. So I think that's a very tricky situation to unpick.
So we must be careful as investors.
Yeah, you have to be careful. You've heard the term "not your keys, not your crypto," but people also like really good user experience. And the challenge is that decentralized trading platforms to date don't offer the best user experience. If you're used to using a central exchange where you sign up, you can on-ramp, you can trade, and then you move across to decentralized, all of a sudden you've got to learn about bridging, MetaMask, your seed phrases, creating a wallet. It can be very, very difficult. And if we remember our first steps into that world, it's very, very difficult. And so there's this real paradox that decentralized trading solves problem number 1, but then actually it makes problem number 2 even greater, because the user experience typically today has been much harder for people to to adopt. And that's really ultimately what Foxify is kind of tackling that head on. It's solving problem number one and aiming to solve problem number two all at the same time. If you look on the left-hand side, you've got OptiTrade. So OptiTrade is our term for optimal trading experiences. It's our catch-all phrase which talks about a user experience that's super, super friendly and easy to use. So you land on the Foxify platform, which launches in June, and we have a beta earlier in June. You land on the platform, you can create an account with your email. You can create a wallet with your email using ERC4337, and the seed phrase will be sent to your email account. We recommend, Web3 security and learning MetaMask in time, but for the initial engagement with the platform, it's very, very easy. You can on-ramp via third-party services, so we're not offering transfer fee. It will host third-party services, and you can even select gasless transactions, and the smart contract will pay the gas on chain for you, so that you're not having to worry about MetaMask approving transactions and so on. And then you can off-ramp at the end of the experience. So for the user on Foxify, it's very much like a CeFi experience, but with all of the trust and the technology that you would expect within DeFi that sits underneath it. Any questions?
Then I can ask you gasless transactions. So how is it possible that you have transactions without costs?
Yes. So maybe we should think about the wording, because it is easily misunderstood. So it's a gasless experience, actually. So there's still gas on the transactions. We'll talk a second about the chain that we're building on. We're building on Arbitrum. Gas costs are very low, actually. It's not like Ethereum, where it can be $20 to $50 at any point in time. So the experience is gasless. So the smart contract will pay the gas and deduct that from your balance. So the few cents that it costs. So the whole experience is gasless. So you're not having to go to your wallet and sign transactions.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. And so on the right-hand side, you can see our innovations around liquidity provision. So if you're a trader, not everybody is a trader, and it's something that we strongly recommend people should really educate themselves. You should invest in yourself to learn if you want to trade, right? Whilst it offers huge upside potential, it also comes with significant risk if you're not learning and educating yourself. But there's other ways that you can engage with the platform. So one of those is liquidity provision. So within a system like ours, you have liquidity, which then the trader trades against the liquidity within the platform when they're trading derivatives. You can supply liquidity to the platform, and that will then produce a token which we call PLP. And that token is effectively an ETF, and your liquidity is held in Bitcoin, Ethereum, some stables, and then you can see a very small part will be Foxify token itself. And ultimately, that ETF then will earn you more ETFs, because that pool of liquidity earns a big share of the trading fee. So up to 75% of all trading fees are fed into the liquidity pool. And then if you're providing liquidity, then you're earning effectively an APY, and you will earn it in Bitcoin, ETH stable, and Foxify also. So you can just earn a passive income for providing liquidity to the ecosystem.
So how can I, for example, if I invest 1,000 euros, how can I make this money from this fees, or I get rewarded from the fees?
Yeah. So in this example, you would take $1,000, and you would commit that $1,000 to the PLP, the Perps liquidity pool, and it would convert. Let's say it's $1,000 of USDT. The system would convert that into 35% Bitcoin, 35% ETH, 22.5% stable, and 7.5% Foxify, and it's held in those assets. Now, that means that you have upside potential if those assets are moving up, and you have some downside risk, but it's hedged because it's 22.5% stable. So you also have the appreciation, but then also obviously if downside risk if the market was to crash. But if you're bullish, which most people are on on blue chips, then you've got upside potential, and because the pool is then earning a percentage of trading fees, so every time a trade is open and closed, that pool will then pay you. So for your $1,000, for example, if the APY was 40% APY, you would be being paid in more of that token, which you can liquidate that token, and it would liquidate into Bitcoin, ETH, stable, and Foxify at any time. Does that answer your question, Martin?
Yes, I just want to understand the process, and is then my investment locked, or can I liquidate it any time I want?
Yeah, we're not doing any. There'll be no locking on the. Generally speaking, there'll be no locking on the liquidity provision pool. We are currently assessing potentially an incentivized liquidity program for early liquidity providers, which would have some guaranteed returns and potentially a commitment period. But all of those details will be shared with our community over the next few weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Right. We've also got an innovation here which we call leveraged liquidity. What that enables you to do. So in Martin's example of 1,000 USDT that we just walked through, imagine you have $1,000 in Arbitrum ETH pair, right? And so with our leveraged liquidity vault, what you can do is you can take that pair, which is currently, say it's farmed, earning you 25% APY. Martin could take that pair and he could deposit in our leveraged liquidity vault, and it would farm it for him and produce a receipt token. The receipt token would then be staked within our perps liquidity pool. And so what Martin has now done, he's leveraged his $1,000 farm to also provide liquidity for the perps liquidity pool. So now if the perps liquidity pool was paying Martin 40% APY and his farm was already paying him 25%, for the same $1,000 he would be earning in two places at the same time. That creates some risk because, you know, if one of those pots moves, then it impacts the other one as well. So you've got exposure in two places, but it does mean that you can earn APY with the same liquidity in two places at the same time.
That's something new for me.
It's very simple. It's a bit like depositing your funds into a bank and they give you an IOU and then you can deposit into another bank and they'll pay you interest on the deposit note effectively. But obviously if one of the banks was to get into trouble, then it would impact your deposit in the other bank. But that's why we use that example. You know, perps liquidity pool is relatively, in crypto terms, relatively low risk and delivers sort of steady returns. Everything has risk in crypto. And you know, if you're using a pair like Arbitrum ETH, then again, that's relatively low risk in crypto terms because they're, you know, blue chips.
Okay, I have to try it.
Fantastic. So to talk about what's on the platform, so there's two types of trading on the platform. So you've got perpetuals, so you know, or sometimes called derivatives, and ultimately what our platform will enable you to do is open a position, and we'll start with a couple of blue chip pairs, and the platform will enable you to speculate on the future value with leverage up to 50 times leverage. Now, leverage can accelerate your gains up to 50 times, but it also accelerates your risks in equal measure. So leverage should be handled very carefully by experienced traders. And whilst it offers big upside potential, it does also come with downside risk. But ultimately, a trader can trade perpetuals. There's no KYC on the platform. We're registered in British Virgin Islands, and there's no KYC, and a user is able to engage and, you know, trade blue chips with leverage, no problem. On the option side, it's a very unique model that we've developed, which is peer-to-peer options. And what that means is that let's use Martin as the example again. It enables Martin to either be a trader, so he could see an option which says, if ETH moves 1% in 4 hours, I will offer you 2.5x your risk. So Martin could risk $1,000, and if he's right, he would come out of that with $2,500. If from when he started the option, the market moved, you know, plus 1% in 4 hours, at the end of the trade, he would receive $2,500 back, less fees. But what's really unique about our options model is that it also allows Martin to be a market maker, which means that Martin could decide that he wants to fund an option and he wants to set the rate and he can present that option to the market. So rather than having to trade options, you can also fund an option. And Martin could say, I think 2.5 times on ETH moving 1% in 4 hours, I think I could offer a better rate and I'm comfortable with the risk. And Martin would be able to take his $1,000, put it onto an option, offer say a 3x, and people would trade on his option. And when each trade, whenever it matures, Martin would either accumulate more liquidity, or if he was wrong and other traders were right, then he would lose liquidity on those options. So it's a very unique model. It uses much more simple numerical system. Options is very complex. I think that's one of the main reasons why options has really struggled within DeFi today. So it's a very simple model, and it really opens up both sides of the book. So Martin can buy options, or he can sell options, and he sets the rate.
That's something very useful for people who are into trading, and as I understand, it's simpler as on other platforms.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's super simple, super simple, very easy to understand. But it also opens up the other side. So typically within any trading environment, institutional traders own the making, and it's individual traders that are on the other side taking the risk against the institutional, and it really kind of gives the whole experience back to people, because anybody, if you have only $5 and you want to fund an option and sell the option, then you can become a market maker even with very small sums of money.
And how did you develop all these things? Are those your ideas? Did you hire a team? How can you actually produce a product like this?
Yeah, so we've got well, you do it with a very good team to start off with. So we have, an extremely experienced team, lots of enterprise experience, building very high performance applications across various industries, and lots of experience within DeFi and Web3 also. From an ideas perspective, I think strategically, perpetuals is a proven model. There are platforms that have had some success with perpetuals and delivered significant returns for their businesses, and options is really our innovation on top of something that's already proven. So we've got the opportunity to really innovate and be very flexible. The options model allows us to add any pair we want at any time. If Pepe is really hyped, we could add Pepe for 3 weeks, and when it's not hyped, we could just take it off, and we can do that with anything at any time. So it gives us lots of options. But yeah, I think I'm largely the ideas man, but I've got a very, very good team around me as well.
Are programmers also from UK or from other parts of the world?
All over the world, actually, all over the world. So we've got team members that are in the US, in Europe, in actual Europe, also in the UK, in the Middle East, and even a couple of people in Asia as well. So it's a very international team.
Congrats for such a complicated project.
Thank you. Well, I hope it doesn't feel so complicated when people use it. It should be very simple to use.
User friendly, yes.
Indeed. Now, the platform will also have a token, okay? And you can see here on the left-hand side that the Foxify token will launch around the same time as the platform when that goes live. And you can see that the token itself is able to be then staked, and then that earns a share of platform fees, okay? And it also earns 50% stable, 50% native. There is no dilution, there are no emissions, there is no minting of tokens during this process. If the platform wants to pay out Foxify, it needs to buy Foxify tokens to distribute them. So there's a lot of internal buy pressure actually from the ecosystem. And you can see here within this graph, here's the liquidity pool that I mentioned previously. If you're a liquidity provider, you can then earn from the perps liquidity pool. The remaining fees would then go into from perpetuals would then go into our combined income pool, which is where also the fees from our options trading would go. And it's from that combined income pool that affiliates and rewards are paid. So up to 3% of rewards on the platform are paid, fees on the platform are paid to traders with the highest volumes, actually. So there's a real incentive for institutional and professional traders. And then there's also rewards there for affiliates because we have affiliate teams. And then all remaining tokens and rewards are then fed out to the staking pool. And that is how you can earn by owning the Foxify token itself as well. Okay. I suppose what's very unique in terms of the strategy of the platform, you can see peer-to-peer. And we talked about this before. This creates a very different dynamic, right? So as an influencer, you can't say, I I'm going to do this trade, follow me, or you shouldn't, right? You can get into a lot of trouble doing that because you're offering financial advice, although they all say they're not. Ultimately, it's very easy for it to be understood like that. The way our options model work allows for very sort of like provocative community engagement and also KOL engagement, because you can create an option and say, disagree with me, I'm going to open an option, I'm going to put $100 and I'll pay anyone 4 times if he goes plus 1% in the next 4 hours, and I can launch that option. I'm not saying do what I do, I'm saying take me on directly, come and take my money is what I'm really saying. So there'll be lots of other things to bring that to life also. So there's teams around affiliates. We'll create head-to-head teams. There'll be individual competitions based on performance and also volume. And then you know, there's a real sort of like wraparound social media marketing element to the platform as well.
That's very nice, very developed idea. And what about this peer-to-peer affiliate teams?
Yeah, so with the peer-to-peer affiliate teams, again, you know, somebody like Martin, who, you know, is an esteemed writer, journalist, has got a huge community. Actually, Martin can sign up as a Foxify affiliate. If you go and win one of our free NFTs, we've got the second on tomorrow. We've got the second of 4 NFT mints that will be happening. You can mint one for free, and you can join Martin's team, and you've got a chance to get an NFT that will get you a discount off of trading fees. And once you've joined the team, then that creates this different level of engagement. You know, Martin would then be very interested in his community, be very, very engaged. But then also there would be certain competitions where we could say, right, we're going to do a knockout competition. So maybe round 1, it would be Martin versus somebody else and a different affiliate team. And then you would measure their performance over, say, for instance, maybe 24 hours. And the winning team would go through to the next round and will provide, you know, rewards and incentives just to create a different level of engagement within the platform.
So anyone can become a partner of Foxify and build his own team and earn a percentage of all fees generated by their team.
Yeah, there is a requirement to be an approved affiliate. So, you know, we're obviously looking for affiliates that have a large audience that's already built. I suppose anybody can become an affiliate, but you know, sort of the lead approved affiliates typically will be individuals that have sort of established communities already behind them.
So also the people that are more in normal businesses or usual businesses or like influencers or advisors can use Foxify platform to grow their business.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we've run. It's a very generous scheme as well.
So that's something completely new. I didn't see that before in any other crypto platform.
Yeah, there is something unique actually that isn't in the slides that we're doing. So we're building an academy. The academy will be full of educational content. We'll also have an auditorium where expert traders and educators within the space can come and hold sessions for members of the community to learn about trading and improve their skills. In addition to that, we'll be the first decentralized trading platform to actually have paper trading. So you can learn without any risk of losing any funds, and that gives you an opportunity to really sharpen your skills on the platform as well. And we'll be the first decentralized trading platform to have a paper trading account.
So you can learn how to trade without actual money, without
for free
risk of losing your money in the process of learning.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we recognize that trading is a fantastic opportunity, but it's, as many people say, it's the easiest way to make / lose money, right? It's not to be taken lightly, and it's really important that people educate themselves, and we want to have an environment that supports that. So yeah, you can use our paper trading account and just get the practice in on us. It's completely free of charge.
That's a great news for beginners. That means 99% of the people.
Absolutely. I'll be honest, it's very surprising that nobody's done it within the industry. In sort of mainstream trading, it's a very standard thing to have paper trading, but you know, we are where we are, and we'll innovate again.
You should put it on your presentation. I think this is very, very interesting because you're giving a great useful content and knowledge for masses of people.
Yeah, thank you. Good feedback. And in terms of the bigger picture, ultimately the options really opens lots of doors for the Foxify platform. When we think about the opportunity within the market, we're looking way beyond decentralized trading as it is today. There's a few players, the GMX Gains, DYDX is another example, already operate within the market, albeit it's a real smidge of the true volume that's out there. There's tens of trillions of dollars being traded regularly. And when you look at the broader crypto industry, that is still a tiny percentage of the overall trading volume globally. You start to think about the sheer volumes in Forex, stocks, commodities, indexes, it dwarfs the current crypto market substantially. So ultimately, with the design and the technology that we've built for Foxify, we're thinking a much bigger picture. We're looking at mainstream platforms, and we're ultimately building a Web3 platform that can be direct competition for the likes of eToro, Robinhood, long term. So we see a much bigger market way beyond crypto, and that's what we're building towards as a business.
That's an incredible sum, 274 trillions of US dollars.
Yeah, and somebody pointed out quite rightly this, that that's more than the global GDP. Remember, yeah, market is, I suppose, open to interpretation, but ultimately any volume is potential market, and we see 274 trillion plus, and that's very conservative actually. If you look at total Forex volume globally, it's much higher than that. In terms of the volume opportunity that Foxify has as a total available market, we're talking about hundreds of trillions of dollars of volume.
And how does Foxify plans to conquer the world? What's your plan to get audience, get users from different corners of the world?
Yeah, it's a fantastic question actually, and you can't put up numbers like this and not have a vision of how you can get there. So I think number one, in terms of getting huge amount of eyes on the brand, we've signed Tyson Fury, world heavyweight, WBC world heavyweight champion, unbeaten, and our partnership with him, is all encompassing. It includes, social media coverage, personal appearances, video content, and also Foxify will be a sponsor on Tyson's actual fight kit at his next World Championship heavyweight fight. So the visibility of the brand, we're very confident will be very big. We've been doing a global roadshow, so Istanbul was the last one, but we've also been to Austin, Texas. We've been to Barcelona. We exhibited in London. We've been out to Dubai a couple of times this year, and we've got another show in Dubai in October. And in addition to that, we've then got the affiliate program, which is already, we're announcing affiliates almost every other day at the moment. So looking forward to having Martin announce as our next one. And in addition to that, we've also got lots of other things. So we've got a big airdrop campaign. So at the moment, you can take part in the airdrop campaigns, and you just have to complete some social elements and jump through a couple of hoops to support the project, and you earn points. And the higher up you are in that league table, the people near the top of the league table, there's a potential to earn hundreds, if not sort of north of $1,000 for some people. So the airdrop is very generous, and that's another way to engage. And then we've also got the NFT mints as well. So I think number one is having the right technology. Number two is then ensuring that you get the exposure, and obviously I'm here today and we're doing lots of other things to make sure that we get the message out there. And then thirdly, if you're going to go beyond crypto and think about stocks, Forex, indexes, and so on, and commodities, then there also needs to be a compliance and a regulatory consideration as well. So that's, as part of our expansion beyond crypto, it's obviously very important that we ensure we follow the rules, because crypto is unregulated at the moment in most markets, and most of those other assets are very regulated. So that's going to be part of the journey for us to really hit this bottom chunk of the pyramid that you see here.
Well, it looks like a plan that can work out. So Tyson Fury is your brand ambassador, a big name for represent Foxify to the world.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And we've already done live streams with Tyson. We've already had social media posts, and as we move towards launch in June, then we'll be doing a lot more activity with Tyson in person on social media, and looking forward to his next fight announcement so we can get that global exposure.
Marketing is my passion, so if you want, I can give you an idea for a headline for a campaign like this.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Foxy Furry.
Foxy Furry. Very good, very good. And
So,
this will be the last slide because I'm conscious that you know, it can be too much with too many slides there. But we're building on the Arbitrum network. So Arbitrum has very deep liquidity. A couple of facts for you: Arbitrum has more volume exchanged from ETH than all of the other L2s combined, and that includes the likes of Polygon as well. So very deep liquidity on Arbitrum. It's also a very friendly chain in terms of decentralized trading. Around 30% of all of the TVL on Arbitrum is already related to decentralized trading platforms, albeit none of them as advanced or as exciting as Foxify, of course. And it's a very exciting place to be at the moment. And it's also got a very supportive team, as well as very good fundamentals in terms of speed of transaction and relatively low gas fees as well.
I know it very well, and it's quite new, but already really popular with a lot of traffic. So congrats! It's a good news. Can we already buy Foxify token? Is it already
No.
possible to purchase it or to participate in airdrop or something like this?
Yeah, it's a great question. That's probably where it's sensible to finish. So in terms of the timeline from here today, our platform beta will start. We start our internal testing in the next couple of weeks, and sort of live testing from our side, and then our beta will be sort of early June. So if you want to take part in the beta, or if you're interested in investing in the project early, you can join our community and contact us, albeit at the moment we're only talking to institutional and large private investors. I think if you're looking to take part in liquidity provision, you know, where you can earn Bitcoin, ETH, and earn a share of the trading fees, then that process will kick off around early June. And the Foxify token itself will launch towards the end of June, around the same time as the platform launches. So we've got an extremely busy sort of 6-7 weeks ahead of us, but it's going to be exciting. And yeah, I'd recommend you join the community today. If you're interested in sort of liquidity provision, then around early June is going to be the time that program starts. And if you're interested in the Foxify token itself and being able to earn a share of trading fees, and that will be launched around the end of June when the platform itself launches. But if you're a trader and you trade significant volumes, we want to hear from you. We want you on the beta, and we want you to take part.
So the fox is on the run around the world.
Absolutely. The fox is on the run. Definitely a cunning fox.
Daniel, thank you very much for this very vibrant presentation with a lot of passion. I myself, I'm not in the best health right now, but you have give a lot of energy to this conversation. So thank you very much for this. And I think that people will see the opportunity that something new, something creative in crypto space can offer to them. So I suggest that you find more about Mr. Danny. You can find him on LinkedIn. You can search for Foxify on Google and get in contact with this incredible team.
Brilliant. Thank you, Martin. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you for having us.
And just one final thought. Where do you think the price of Bitcoin will be in 2030?
Oh, 2030. I think 2030, I think $250,000 is possible.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, we will see in 7 years, but I think it will be higher. In any case, it's a good thing.
Well, if they keep doubling money supply every year, then definitely.
Okay, okay. $250,000 of real money. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Thanks, Martin.
Thank you, and all luck to UK.